Haunted Houses of America, Part 1, Number 1, The Whaley House Hauntings, San Diego. The Whaley House, located in San Diego's Old Town, is known as one of the most haunted places in America. Its eerie history stretches back over a century, filled with ghostly legends that continue to captivate both skeptics and believers alike. The story begins in 1857, when Thomas Whaley, a prosperous businessman, decided to build a grand home on the edge of Old Town San Diego. The land had a tragic history. It was once the site of a gallows where criminals had been hanged. This ominous beginning would set the stage for the strange and unsettling events that would follow. Despite the dark history, Thomas Whaley's family moved into the house, and for a time, the home was filled with laughter and joy. However, tragedy struck when Thomas Whaley's young daughter, Violet, took her own life in 1885. Devastated by personal struggles, she was only 22. Her tragic death seemed to cast a shadow over the house, marking the beginning of the strange occurrences. Years later, as the Whaley family continued to live in the house, whispers of paranormal activity began to circulate. It was said that the spirits of those who had been hanged on the property still roamed the grounds, their restless souls unable to find peace. One of the most frequently reported apparitions was that of a man dressed in old-fashioned clothes, believed to be Yankee Jim, a notorious criminal who was hanged on the property before the Whaleys built their home. Visitors to the Whaley house have described strange occurrences that seem to defy logical explanation. Over the years, many people have reported hearing the faint sound of footsteps echoing through the halls, even when no one is around. Some have claimed to feel cold spots or sudden drops in temperature, as though they were being watched. Others have reported seeing ghostly figures appear and vanish without warning. One particularly unsettling experience involved a family who saw the spirit of Violet Whaley herself, standing silently in the corner of the room, her face full of sadness. As the years went on, the house passed through different owners, but the hauntings remained. In the 1960s, a group of paranormal investigators set up equipment in the house, and they were able to capture recordings of strange, unexplained voices. The whispers seemed to call out the names of long-dead family members, and some of the investigators even claimed to have seen ghostly apparitions on their cameras. Today, the Whaley House operates as a museum, allowing visitors to explore the home's rich history and the supernatural mysteries that still linger. Some people come in search of history, while others come hoping to witness the ghostly phenomena for themselves. Despite the many ghost stories and reports of paranormal activity, one thing is clear. The Whaley House stands as a testament to both the power of history and the mysteries that continue to haunt our world. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's hard to deny that the house has an undeniable atmosphere of something otherworldly. The spirits of the past seem to have made their home here, forever woven into the fabric of the Whaley House's eerie legacy. Number 2. The Hauntings at the Lizzie Borden House, Massachusetts. The Lizzie Borden House, located in Fall River, Massachusetts, is a place where history and hauntings intertwine in a chilling and haunting way. The house, a Victorian-style dwelling, became infamous due to a brutal crime that occurred within its walls in 1892, forever marking it as a place of dark mystery and intrigue. The story begins with Lizzie Borden, a young woman who was living with her father, Andrew Borden, and her stepmother, Abby. On the morning of August 4th, 1892, a grisly double murder occurred. Andrew and Abby Borden were found hacked to death with an axe, their bodies gruesomely laid out on the floor of their home. Lizzie, the sole surviving member of the household, was quickly arrested as the prime suspect in the killings. But despite the overwhelming suspicion and evidence pointing to her, Lizzie was acquitted in a trial that gripped the nation. Though she was never convicted, the mystery surrounding the murders and Lizzie's involvement continues to linger, and it is said that the spirits of Andrew and Abby Borden still haunt the house to this day. Since the crime, numerous reports of strange occurrences have been documented by visitors and staff who have spent time in the infamous home. People who visit the Lizzie Borden house today, which has since been converted into a bed and breakfast, often report a sense of unease as soon as they step inside. The atmosphere is thick with the weight of the past, and it is said that the house itself feels alive, pulsing with an energy that can't be explained. One of the most commonly reported phenomena is the sound of footsteps echoing through the halls, often accompanied by creaking floors. Visitors have claimed to hear the sounds of muffled voices, laughter, and the occasional thud of something falling, strange noises that seem to come from nowhere, as if the house itself is still haunted by the memories of that terrible day. The sensation of being watched is another frequent experience, with people reporting a feeling of dread that seems to follow them from room to room. Perhaps the most unsettling of all are the sightings of figures that appear in the windows or move through the rooms. Witnesses have reported seeing a woman in Victorian clothing, often described as an older woman, roaming the halls and standing by the staircase. Some believe this is the restless spirit of Abby Borden, still searching for answers, while others claim it's Lizzie herself, forever tethered to the place where her life changed in such a horrifying way. Lizzie, despite her acquittal, remained an outcast in the town and is said to have carried the weight of suspicion and scandal until her death in 1927. In the most eerie instances, people have claimed to see shadowy figures lurking in the corners of the rooms or catching glimpses of something that moves just out of sight. Guests staying in the rooms where the murders occurred have reported waking in the middle of the night to find themselves covered in scratches or bruises, as though someone or something had touched them in their sleep. One of the most harrowing reports came from a group of paranormal investigators who spent the night at the house. They captured strange voices on tape, including one that clearly said, "Lizzie did it." Others heard whispering and felt a sudden drop in temperature, despite the warm summer night. The investigators later claimed that the house seemed to have a presence that they could not explain, something dark and oppressive that lingered in the air. For many, the Lizzie Borden house is more than just a historical site. It is a place where the past refuses to be buried, where the spirits of Andrew and Abby Borden seem to roam, seeking justice or perhaps simply peace. The line between history and hauntings is blurred here, and it's clear that the tragic events of August 4th, 1892 still cast a long shadow over the house. Whether or not Lizzie Borden was guilty of the murders remains a mystery that may never be solved. But one thing is certain, the Lizzie Borden house is not just a place in history. It is a place where the past and the paranormal collide, where the echoes of a brutal crime continue to reverberate through the walls, keeping the spirits of Andrew and Abby Borden, and perhaps Lizzie herself, trapped within the confines of the house forever. Number 3. The Ghosts of Stone's Public House, Massachusetts. Stone's Public House, nestled in the small town of Ashland, Massachusetts, is a charming 18th century building with a rich history. Built in 1834, it served as a meeting place, a tavern, and even a stop on the Underground Railroad. But it's not just the building's history that draws attention. What lingers within its walls is far more unsettling. The story of the hauntings at Stone's Public House begins with its early days. In the 1800s, the building was a bustling inn and tavern, frequented by travelers, locals, and sometimes the occasional drifter. It was a place of laughter, stories, and camaraderie, until one fateful night. Legend has it that a tragic fire broke out in the tavern, claiming the lives of several people, though the details of the fire are shrouded in mystery. Some say it was an accident, while others whisper that it was deliberately set. Whatever the cause, the souls lost in that inferno are believed to have never truly left. Over the years, the building changed hands several times, but the eerie whispers of strange occurrences never ceased. Staff members, patrons, and even skeptics have all reported encounters with the unexplained. One of the most frequently reported ghosts at Stone's Public House is that of a woman named Mary, whose presence is often felt near the upstairs bar. She is said to have been a barmaid who worked at the tavern in the early 1800s. Mary was known to be friendly and vivacious, always eager to chat with customers. But on one fateful evening, as she served drinks to a rowdy crowd, something went terribly wrong. Some say she was pushed, others say she was caught in the fire. Regardless of the exact circumstances, her spirit is said to remain in the building. Numerous people have reported seeing her ghostly figure in the upstairs bar area. Descriptions vary. Some say she appears as a misty figure, while others describe her as a more solid presence, wearing old-fashioned clothing from the 19th century. Guests have reported feeling a sudden drop in temperature when they approach the upstairs bar, as if Mary's spirit is drawing near. Some have even claimed to hear her laughter or feel a gentle touch on their shoulders, as if she's offering a warm greeting. But despite her friendly nature, there's an undeniable sense of sorrow that accompanies her apparition. A sadness that lingers in the air, as though she's waiting for something that never came. Another ghostly presence that haunts Stone's public house is that of a man named Henry, who was a regular patron in the tavern's early days. Henry was a well-liked but mysterious figure, often found sitting alone at the bar, deep in thought. Some say he was a writer, others claim he was a soldier, but no one truly knew his story. What is known is that Henry died suddenly in the tavern one evening, leaving his unfinished business behind. Patrons and staff alike have reported seeing a tall man sitting at the bar, nursing a drink. But when they approach him, he vanishes into thin air. His presence is often accompanied by the faint smell of cigars and the sound of an old-fashioned piano playing a mournful tune from somewhere deep within the building. The piano, which hasn't been played in years, has a habit of playing on its own, especially during quiet hours when no one is around. Some say it's Henry, trying to finish the song he never had a chance to complete before his untimely death. Perhaps the most chilling ghostly occurrence at Stone's public house is the sensation of being watched. Staff members working late at night, long after the last customers have left, often report a feeling of dread creeping over them. It's as though invisible eyes are constantly observing their every move. Some have heard the faint sound of footsteps following them through the hallways, only to turn around and find the building eerily silent. Others have felt the inexplicable sensation of being touched by unseen hands, a cold and clammy hand resting briefly on their shoulder before vanishing. The ghosts of Stone's public house don't just haunt the interior of the building, they also seem to linger in the surrounding grounds. Outside, near the back of the building, there are whispers of a dark figure that roams the garden late at night, a tall silhouette who seems to be searching for something or someone. Some say it's the ghost of a former owner who died under mysterious circumstances, while others believe it's the spirit of a long-lost soul who never found peace. In recent years, paranormal investigators have visited Stone's public house, using specialized equipment to try and capture evidence of the supernatural. Their recordings have picked up strange, disembodied voices, whispers and laughter that seem to come from nowhere. One investigator, while sitting in the upstairs bar area, claimed to have heard a woman's voice clearly say, "Help me," followed by a sudden, unexplained drop in temperature. Despite these unsettling experiences, many who visit Stone's public house find themselves captivated by the history and mystery that hangs in the air. The spirits that linger in the building seem not to be malevolent, but rather confused, trapped in a place where the past and present intertwine. Some come in search of a drink, while others come looking for a glimpse of the afterlife. For those brave enough to spend time at Stone's public house, the ghosts of the past are always there, watching from the shadows, never quite ready to let go of their connection to the place they once called home. Whether you believe in spirits or not, there's no denying the strange feeling that the walls of this historic tavern hold secrets that are far from forgotten. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. It will encourage us to work more harder and bring you more true chilling stories and facts from across the world. Thank you.